The next game we're going to be jumping into is going to be the Denver Nuggets at the crib taking on the Dallas Mavericks. This was a really good game, very competitive. The ending score doesn't show how nice and competitive this game was. It was a very enjoyable game, too. We're going to start on the Dallas Mavericks side, where Dorian Finney-Smith continued to rob and pillage and plunder and steal our DK dollars with his snowflake ass. He had 26 minutes and 5 points to go with 4 rebounds and 1 block. Not a good game from him at all. Excuse me. Harrison Barnes, not a very good game from him. 19 and 2 to go with 1 assist and 1 steal. Deron Williams was actually the best player of the game. He fell 2 assists shy of a double-double. He had 23 points and 1 rebound to go with 8 assists and a steal. Pretty good game from him. Dwight Powell, off of the bench in his 29 minutes, had 11 points and 9 boards with an assist and 3 blocks. We saw 13 minutes of J.J. Barea, and he had 11 points and 4 rebounds to go with 4 assists and a steal. When he comes back, man, he's going to be an instant starter. When he's back to his full minutes, he's going to be an instant starter. He's going to be really good. We might not have to worry about Dorian Finney-Smith anymore once J.J. Barea comes back. Also off of the bench, we saw 14 and 4 from Lil Brea to go with 2 assists. Pretty good game from him. Not too much else to talk about on the Dallas Mavericks side. On the Denver Nuggets side, we had a game. Starting off with Danilo Gallinari. Wasn't a barn burner, but he did have 14 and 2 boards to go with 4 assists and 4 steals. Nice game from him. We also saw Nikola Jokic for 38 minutes. He was the player of this game. He had 27 points, 15 rebounds, 9 assists, fell 1 shy of a triple-double. Almost got it in. Emmanuel Mudiay played some really good minutes. In 33, he had 18 and 5 rebounds to go with 7 assists. Pretty good game from him. We also saw a pretty decent game from Wilson Chandler. He didn't ball out, but he had 17 points and 8 boards to go with 4 assists. Not hurting the Denver stack if you did get a lot of them in your lineups. The one guy that I did advise against was Will Barton. In his 23 minutes, he had 11 points and 2 boards to go with 3 assists. Not a great game from him at that price point. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the player pricing pool for tomorrow. And this is where we're going to get an idea of where we want to go as far as our early roster construction. The first thing we want to do as we jump into this slate is we want to develop a pool of players. Guys that we look at, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Kind of get our heads together and wrap our minds around the totality of this 11-game slate. Now, as we can see, we're going to look at the top of the slate. It's going to be Anthony Davis against the Philadelphia 76ers. 11.7K is the highest priced player on tomorrow's slate, backed up by DeMarcus Cousins. Now, just to talk about these 3 guys in 11K, because we got James Harden against the San Antonio Spurs. The only person that's in a matchup that completely favors the skill set of the other person when it comes to matchup and the guy they're going to be guarding, the guys are going to be guarding them, is Boogie. Boogie is the only matchup out of all 3 of these guys. That's the only matchup that I have no fear about. I have no fear about rostering him, right? Probably the biggest upside of everyone in this in this area is going to be Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is probably the only person out of these 3 that can legit tomorrow, based off this matchup and what's going on, can legit go off for 90 points. Anthony Davis. He also comes with the highest risk. I think he has the lowest floor out of all 3 of these guys. So probably the safest bet of all 3 of these players is going to be James Harden. Because, at home against San Antonio, Pop's going to pop somebody. Everybody's not going to play. Something's going to go on. And we're going to see a really nice game from James Harden. Now, is it going to be 11.1 times 6 nice? I don't know. But against Joel Embiid for 28 minutes, Anthony Davis at Philadelphia, that can have a tremendous amount of upside, as well as DeMarcus Cousins going up against, Mason Plumlee and Ed Davis and those guys. So the one thing that I can say is Portland shoots a lot of jump shots. Philadelphia drives to the basket a lot. San Antonio, they have a fair mix of both. And he's not a big, so it doesn't really matter. But when it comes to these 2 bigs, you gotta like DeMarcus Cousins tomorrow and what he's going to be able to do. But Anthony Davis is like the upside play of the day because he can go off at any time, especially against a pretty bad Philadelphia team. This is not a great team. They're better with Joel Embiid, but this is not a great team. Next, we're gonna go check out Giannis Antetokounmpo at 9.8K. That's a little high for him. Now you look at this right here. You've got Giannis at 9.8 and LeBron at 9.6. Last time out, Giannis got the best of LeBron. That is not happening tomorrow. It's not. That is not happening. That's not happening tomorrow. If I had to choose between these two, I'm going LeBron every time. I like LeBron tomorrow because of what Giannis was able to do the last time the Milwaukee Bucks played the Cleveland Cavaliers. I like LeBron for that reason tomorrow. Chris Paul is going to be in play definitely at 9.2 going up against Denver. I like Kevin Durant at 9K, but the Utah pace is so slow. Even though they're at Golden State, Utah is still a good team, and they're going to slow the pace down just because that's the way they play. So I think we can make a better decision at the power forward position, or even the forward position, the utility forward position on DraftKings. So I don't like Kevin Durant as much as I would had they been playing somebody else. Hassan Whiteside at 8.7 is going to be a decent play against Orlando. Kawhi Leonard. Now Kawhi Leonard may have to play a lot in this game and actually have like a Kawhi Leonard game for him to win. So I think he is in play somewhat. I like Dame Lillard at 8.5. He's going to be a nice play tomorrow. DeMar DeRozan, I don't usually roster him at all, but against Brooklyn, man, this could be a decent matchup for him. Now he's going to see Sean Kilpatrick defense, who is a very solid defender, which is why I like Kyle Lowry more in this game than I do DeMar DeRozan. Plus, I mean, the price point is not that different. It's 100 less, but hey, every penny counts. You're talking about DK dollars. Now we know Blake Griffin is going to be out tomorrow, so we don't have to worry about rostering him. Kevin Love is also going to be out tomorrow. We're going to have to look to see who's going to get that starting role. Whether it's going to be Channing Frye, whether it's going to be Mike Dunleavy, whether it's going to be Richard Jefferson, and see that Kevin Love not being on the floor bumps up LeBron's usage that much more. I love LeBron tomorrow. He's like my favorite play on the slate. He may be a core 4 member. Stay tuned. We've got Paul George at 8.1, going up against no defense at all. And my boy, Carmelo. We've got Kemba Walker. Do I have to say it? Baby, go get my Hornets hat. Do I have to say it? Kemba's at home. You know it. You know how I feel about Kemba at home. You ain't got to feel that way. But you know how I feel about Kemba at home. Against the Lakers? I love Kemba tomorrow at 8K flat. You got Steph Curry. That's a no against Utah. Porzingis. He is in play, I think, at 7.8. The price went up on him for whatever reason. They didn't have a good game out, but the price did go up on him. But he's still in play. Gordon Hayward at 7.7 is definitely in play. That's going to be Utah's main mode of offense. It's going to be Gordon Hayward. I like him tomorrow. Goran Dragic against Orlando. This says that Orlando is hard to play as a point guard against Orlando, but you can throw that out of the window. Goran Dragic is in play. Joel Embiid at 7.6 on a full slate. Call me crazy, but on a full slate, 11 games, I'm not taking a guy with a minutes limit. I don't care. I'm just not doing it. You can do it. It probably is going to work out for you. I'm just not doing it. Draymond Green at 7.5. He is in play, but this game, I'm gonna kind of steer clear a lot of this game right here. Nick Batum at 7.5. The price is up a little bit too high for me to roster him. I think I'm gonna rather punt at the shooting guard position. I don't think that I'll be investing that much in the Charlotte game because I'm already gonna have some shares of Kemba already. So you got Kyrie Irving who is in play, gonna see that usage bump without Kevin Love in the lineup. So I definitely like a Kyrie LeBron stack. I like that. Carmelo Anthony is a no for me. Marc Gasol. Remember how we like to attack Boston rebounding? This game is at the grindhouse. I think Marc Gasol is going to be in play at 7.3. I like that. Isaiah Thomas against the first ranked defense against point guards in the league. And Mike Conley is back. So we've got to really respect that number one ranked defense against the point guard. So I don't like Isaiah Thomas very much tomorrow. DeAndre Jordan, man, I talked about this with you all frequently. Last year, man, I was able to cash in because Blake Griffin was hurt. And I would always find myself waiting to roster a point guard in the center until the later games. And I always would go Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan. They just play so well together. And DeAndre is such a low-maintenance player. See, Blake, he has to get the ball to the top of the key and shake and shimmy and leave Chris Paul standing around with his hand on his hip while he doing what he doing. And he may be scoring, he may not be scoring, but when DeAndre gets the ball from Chris Paul, his next motion is to score the ball. So I definitely like DeAndre Jordan and uh, Chris Paul tomorrow against the Denver Nuggets. We got Brook Lopez. He is out, so that means Luis Scola is probably going to be getting a start tomorrow. You can look to Luis Scola at his minimum salary. That's the punt you might need on a slate like this. You may need to take advantage of a punt like that, especially going up against Toronto, where we know Jonas Valanciunas is not a lockdown defender. He's a very good center, but he's not a lockdown defender. Rudy Gobert, they're going to take him off of the floor. He's not going to be out there. He's not going to play 30 minutes tomorrow. He's just not, because Golden State at home at the Oracle is going to run so much. They're going to have to switch in because he's some Trey Lyles. We're going to see Jeff Withy. He's going to be gassed a lot. So I don't really like Rudy Gobert tomorrow. CJ McCollum at 7K flat. He needs to show me a little bit more, but going up against Garrett Temple, I think he can have his way in that matchup. I probably won't have very much exposure to CJ McCollum. Jeff Teague coming off a back-to-back against the 8th ranked defense against point guards, which that is not real. 6.9K. Jeff Teague is definitely in play tomorrow. He's going to see a little bit of a spike, an increase in his ownership just because of the last few games he's had, and it's well-deserved. LaMarcus Aldridge against Houston. That I just don't like him tomorrow. He had a decent game last game out, but I just don't like him tomorrow. Jabari Parker had a really nice game out last time he played against Cleveland at 6.7K. No Kevin Love. That might be a nice place to go. If you want to get exposure to this game without paying up that much for Giannis, that might be the way to go. Jabari Parker. See, I can already see that happening now. Kind of a mini game stack. We've got Jabari Parker. We've got LeBron James. We've got Kyrie Irving. I like that already. Drew Holiday is going to be a nice play at 6.7 going up against Philadelphia. Al Horford is a no for me against Memphis. George Hill is going to be out tomorrow. Rudy Gay is questionable. Nikolai Jokic, he's in play. He's in play at 6.4. The price went down 100 from last night, so he's in play. Yeah, he's in play at 6.4. That's fine. Miles Turner at 6.3 is in play against the New York Knicks. Mike Conley, I like him. A lot of people are going to be off Mike Conley because of the recent injury stuff and how he was supposed to be out for like 6 weeks, but he ended up coming back early. But I like him tomorrow. He had a full allotment of minutes the last time they played. He just didn't play very well. But going up against a way smaller guard in Isaiah Thomas, I really think Mike Conley can have a nice game at the Grindhouse. That's why I like him, and I like Marc Gasol. Paired them together. Nikolai Vucevic, 6.2K, going to see some of the Miami second team. That's debatable. He could be in play. Wilson Chandler is a no for me. Going up against Luke Mbamute, their best defensive player. Don't really see him having a great game tomorrow. Klay Thompson at 6.1. He's just a shooter, and I just don't like this game. I just don't like this game very much. I just don't. And when we get to the point totals, maybe it'll explain to me why I don't like this game, but I just don't like it. Derrick Rose is questionable. Avery Bradley at 6K is going to be in play, even against Tony Allen defense. The scoring has to come from somewhere, and I think Isaiah Thomas is not going to have a great game. That means Avery Bradley is going to see a usage bump and play some good ball tomorrow. Paul Gasol at 6K flat. Now, we know that Capella is not going to be playing, so Paul Gasol is going to be matched up with Nene Hilario. Nene is a very good defender. Very good defender. Now, if Paul can take him out of that box and maybe shoot the jump shot a little bit, we might be able to see some increased rebounding on the Houston side for people like Ryan Anderson. I like that. Serge Ibaka at 6K flat. Not a great play there. Sweet Lou Williams going to Charlotte. He is in play at 5.9K. Finally, the salary is down. This dude was approaching upwards of 7K just a couple weeks ago, and he's such a streaky shooter. But I think against the Charlotte Hornets, he can definitely have a nice game off of the bench. Evan Fournier at 5.9 is not in play for me. Julius Randle. I love Julius Randle. If we can attack Charlotte anywhere, it is rebounding. I love Julius Randle tomorrow. He may be one of my favorite plays on the slate under 6K. I like him. Ersan Ilyasova at 5.8 is going to be in play against New Orleans. Trevor Booker, don't like him very much against Toronto at 5.8K. That game, he plays well in fast-paced games, and we could consider this a fast-paced game. So we might see a decent output from Trevor Booker, but it's just so you got Trevor Booker and Julius Randle, same price. I'm going Randle. Easy. Jonas Valanciunas. Now it's a revenge game for Luis Scola. This is where he came from. He came from Toronto. So there may be some feelings there. We may be able to get Valanciunas in there, and he plays some good ball at 5.8K. That's a really nice salary on him. Mason Plumlee at 5.7 against Sacramento is in play definitely. I kind of like Robert Covington tomorrow at 5.7 going up against that New Orleans wing defense. I like him. Jeremy Lin is. Are we ready to see like Jeremy Lin lead the team? Is he like back? Is he going to be starting? If he's starting, I like him. If not, I don't. Danilo Gallinari at 5.7. There are other places we can go to get that production. Tim Frazier at 5.6. He is in play for me. If I have to get a mid-level point guard at some point in my roster build, I'm definitely going to be looking Tim Frazier's way. Will Barton is a no. Jay Crowder is a no. Elfrid Payton, no for me at 5.5. Brandon Jennings. If we don't see Derrick Rose, he may be in play. Jahlil Okafor. Now, do we think that Embiid is going to get so much attention that we're going to see a plus game from Okafor? That is definitely a possibility. I'm going to keep that in mind. Rodney Hood at 5.4 is a no for me. Pat Bev is a decent play at 5.4. The price still has not caught up to his production yet. I like him. D'Angelo Russell at 5.3. He's going to be playing matched up against Kemba Walker, who is a so-so defender. But D'Angelo Russell can be a good play at 5.3. I kind of like that. Zach Randolph, if we want to attack Boston rebounding, this is a place that we can go to do it. He won't be in the starting rotation, but he's going to see minutes off of the bench at 5.3K. I like Zach Randolph, but there's a player that's listed him on the same team that I like even more. Eric Gordon at 5.3. I don't like that very much against the San Antonio second team. Emmanuel Mudiay at 5.3 going up against the Clippers. He's going to see the coach's son a lot on defense. Because Emmanuel Mudiay does play some with the second team. He goes see either Chris Paul first and then maybe some Austin Rivers. So I don't know how I feel about Emmanuel Mudiay, but JaMychal Green is somebody who I really like to target the Boston rebounding woes. I like him at 5.2. The price is right on him. Tyler Johnson is in play at 5.2 against Orlando. Tyreek Evans is out. Trevor Ariza is a no for me. Sergio Rodriguez. I need to know if he's getting all the minutes at point guard. If he's like still splitting with T.J. McConnell and Sauce is getting played at that point. I don't need that. I don't need no three-headed monster at point guard. I need one solid, definite guy. Ryan Anderson is a no for me. Justice Winslow. Listen, I love Justice Winslow tomorrow. If I could tell you, hey, there's one guy, get him in your lineups, it would be Justice Winslow tomorrow. I love him to crush 6x value tomorrow. I like him to go for 36. I love it. Sean Kilpatrick is a no for me. Gary Harris, no for me. Coming off that good game, I still don't like him very much. Tristan Thompson, now we know somebody's got to clean the glass. With Kevin Love out, somebody has to clean the glass. I think Tristan Thompson is definitely in play at that 4.9K. Marvin Williams is in play for me at 4.9K as well. As Cody Zeller would be, but that price is just a little bit too much. I love 4K Cody Zeller. 4K Cody Zeller is so attractive. This is ugly. This is the 4.9, almost 5K for Cody Zeller. But he's in play. He's in play. Tony Allen is a no for me, even though it's 11th ranked DVP going against Avery Bradley. That's a no for me at 4.9. Clint Capella's out, so we're going to see Nene Hilario. Darren Collison, he likes to hit the chicks and not jump shots. Until he gets that squared away, I won't have him in my roster at 4.9. Mo Harkless at 4.9 is definitely in play for me. He's going to see a lot of, Matt Barnes or whoever's Rudy Gay is out. I like Maurice Harkless tomorrow at 4.9K. Aaron Gordon is a no. Thad Young against the Knicks is definitely in play at 4.9. Kenneth Reed is a no. Shelvin Mack, no. Jordan Clarkson, no. Bismack is a no for me. Kyle Quinn, no. Luol Deng is questionable. So we may see an extended run of minutes for the rookie. I do like him some tomorrow. Bojan, no. Marcus Smart is a no for me. Evan Turner, I like Evan Turner. He's like their like perennial sixth man. They like to play Evan Turner, and he plays a little bit with the first team, a little bit with the second team, and he has 2 cycles of that most games, and he's able to really do some damage. So I like Evan Turner tomorrow at 4.6K. Omri Caspi is questionable. Greg Monroe is a no for me. Glenn Robinson, he's a snowflake, no. Swaggy P at 4.4 is playable. If you trust him to go out and have a game like he had last time, he just scored 45 DraftKings points. He can shoot the lights out. So I do like Nick Young tomorrow if you're going to be playing him. MKG, no. Patty Mills, no. Terrence Jones, 4.4. He's only in play for me when Anthony Davis is hurt. I don't like him. The coach's son at 4.4 is a no. Derek Favors is at 4.3. We need to keep in touch all day to see how many minutes he's going to be getting. Because if I get 20 minutes of Derek Favors for 4.3K, I'm taking him. I'm taking him because he's going to be the center. He's basically going to be the center. JJ Redick at 4.3. No. Henson at 4.2. Against Tristan Thompson with no Kevin Love, he could be in play. Brandon Ingram was the rookie I was talking about for the Lakers. Now, if we don't see Lou Alding, we're going to see a lot of Brandon Ingram, so I do like him tomorrow. Tony Parker is a no. Matt Barnes is in play at 4.2. James Johnson at 4.2, no. CJ Miles is in play at 4.2 here. DeMarre Carroll, it says it's a plus matchup. I just don't like him against the Brooklyn Nets. I just don't like him. Pat, he may be in play for the cheap. Marco Bellinelli at 4.1 is definitely in play. Courtney Lee, no. Jamal Crawford at 4.1 is going to be in play for me in case Denver gets blown out, which I don't think is going to happen. J.R. Smith is at 4K flat. Now, his usage is going to go up without Kevin Love. So, you may want to look to J.R. Smith, Melo, and Kyrie. That could be a stack for you if you're thinking about it. Costa Kufas at 4K is a pretty decent play if we don't see Rudy Gay tomorrow. Nerlens Noel, 4K, no. Larry Nance could be in play at 3.9. Joakim Noah, 3. The price is so low on him, on Joakim Noah at 3.9K. He's definitely in play there. You got Norman Powell, Dellavedova in the revenge game. If you want to follow that narrative. DJ Augustine at 3.8. No. Buddy Hield, 3.8. Lucas Nogueira, no. Hamilton is going to see some extended minutes tomorrow because it's going to be Louis Scola is going to be the center. We're not going to see Brooke Lopez tomorrow, so Justin Hamilton could be a cheap pump play at center. Hernandez, no. TJ McConnell, Terrence Ross. Channing Frye may be the starter in place of Kevin Love tomorrow, so that's something to look at going forward. Andrew Harrison at 3.6, no. Manu Ginobili at 3.6 is in play here against Houston. He's definitely in play. Danny Green is in play, I believe, against Houston. Willie Reed, Galloway, no. So we've got a jam-packed slate tomorrow, man. We are full of really great plays. I like Jeremy Lamb a little bit too at 3.4K. I'm going to have him in the lineup for 2 as a salary saver. This is my old reliable. Listen, shooting guard is one of the hardest spots to fill consistently on DraftKings. And whenever the Philadelphia 76ers are playing, if I'm looking to load up other places I like to play 3-point guards, I will throw Gerald Henderson ass in there in a second because he is most of the time a lock for at least 5x value. At 3.4K, the dude can shoot the ball. He rarely lets me down. So I do like Gerald Henderson tomorrow if I need that low price shooting guard for salary savings. Joe Ingles, and let's just find a men's salary baller, somebody at minimum salary that we can look to. Terry Moore Williams, Kay Felder, no. Dunleavy, Jones, Liggins. Let's find one guy at 3K who we can agree will help us out tomorrow if we need to go that low on a big slate. We got Boris Diaw at 3K. He's somebody to look forward to. You always got Jaja at 3K. Somebody here. And somebody that's starting at 3K that we can look to. I think I already talked about him. We've got Nene. Can help us out at 3K. And we've got not too much else, man. Not too much else. So that's it. Louis Scola. Those are our two plays at 3K that may be able to help us out tomorrow. Let's go ahead and jump into the point total preview for tomorrow's 11-game slate. We're going to roll through them very quickly and toss up a few scenarios that we can look to. We are going to start in Charlotte, of course, where the Hornets are taking on the LA Lakers. This is a 212.5 point total. That is pretty juicy. A 9-point spread where the Charlotte Hornets at home are the favorite, and they're giving up 9 points to the LA Lakers. You already know how I feel about Kemba at home, man. Fire him up. I love Kemba at home. I don't give a fuck who's who. I don't care. I like him. I like Kemba at home. The hoes are coming. They're gonna get it in. Also, we can look to now if we want to attack the Lakers, we can do it, of course, on the perimeter at point guard and even at shooting guard. So Nicholas Batum is in play. The price is up on him a little bit at that 7.5K, but he's had some really good games out recently, and it's always good to roster the point guard that you really feel is gonna ball out. It's always good to roster somebody else on the same team because he's gonna make that connection along the line with somebody and really why does a point guard have a good game? Because they're assisting the ball, they're scoring the ball. So you want to look to other guys on the team, and I think we can do that with Marvin Williams and as well as Nick Batum. So I do like those three guys tomorrow on the LA Lakers side of the ball. There's not much I like in the way of the starters. The number one play I think from this game, period, is going to be Kemba Walker, but the number two play is going to come from the other side of the ball, and it is going to be Julius Randle. I love Julius Randle in this game. If there's one way, we talk about this all the time, to attack Charlotte, it is rebounding the basketball. It is on the low block. He is probably the most active player on the low block. Check it. Check the stats, man. This dude is very active around the basket. Talking about Julius Randle, so I do like him tomorrow. We may see a little bit of love for Jordan Clarkson as well as Lou Williams off of the bench, but in an 11-game slate, there's too many guys starting for me to roster guys who are coming off of the bench with the confidence that I would. I'm not going to roster a bench guy with the same confidence that I would roster a starter. So we're still looking for, and then the other thing is hard about the Lakers is to really gauge the minute counts that we're going to get, because I've said this time and time again. Their coach, Luke Walton, he was coaching behind or under Golden State's coach. And this dude gives everybody between 20 and 27 minutes. Everybody gets 20 minutes. And I need a guy that's going to get 30 minutes that, if he's playing well, could get 35 minutes. If he's playing lights out and the game is close, he could get 40 minutes. And we just don't see that with the Lakers. So that's why I would steer clear of going too heavy on the Lakers side of the ball, investing too much in salary. That's why I love Julius Randle. He's very safe, very cheap at 5.8K, and he can get us 40 DraftKings points at a moment's notice. The next game we're going to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers at home in a 207-point total against the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans are giving up 2.5 points to the Philadelphia 76ers. So the Sixers are a home dog. Anytime we got a home dog, I have to pay a little closer attention to the point total and see, how close this game can actually be. Because you know what we love in DFS? We love to keep it 300, and we love overtime. We love overtime. So this is a game where the teams are pretty much evenly matched. They're equally bad, so to speak. And on the Philadelphia side, we talked about a cheap play that I like in Gerald Henderson. But on a more serious note, what do we do with Joel Embiid? I know what I'm going to do with him. I'm not playing him. 7.5K is the price tag on him. I'm not paying that much for 27 minutes. For any capped minutes, I'm just not. So if I had to go anywhere on the Philadelphia 76ers side, it would be Robert Covington. I like Covington in this game. I think we can see some decent minutes from him, as well as Ersan Ilyasova, because somebody got to come in when that 27 cap hits. Somebody's got to come in and play. And I think Ersan Ilyasova can have a decent game against the New Orleans Pelicans second team. On the Pelican side of the ball, I like Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis is going to be a good play. He plays the entire game. He's going to play very well. Even though he's going to be playing against Joel Embiid, I still like him. He's a guy that kind of rises up to the challenge of other players. So he's not scared. He don't back down. I like him tomorrow. I think he's going to be a really decent play. Will I have a lot of them? Probably not, because on a slate this big, man, I think that a fair, balanced lineup with maybe one stud here or there is going to do it. I don't think that I'm going to need to pay up to any of the top guys in order to really get where I'm trying to get to on a slate like this with 11 games. So who else would I like from the New Orleans side? I think Drew Holiday is in play, definitely, against the Philadelphia perimeter. He is. Also, if we talked about, looking for a mid-level point guard, you can look at Tim Frazier as well. So I think that might be a decent play. Now, the next game we're going to talk about is a game that I'm probably not going to have a lot invested in. It is the Miami Heat at the crib in 197.5 point total, the lowest point total on the slate, I believe. And the Orlando Magic are coming to town, and they are getting 3 points from the Miami Heat. So the Miami Heat are the home favorite. Instantly, I like Whiteside. Instantly, I like Whiteside. I think Whiteside is going to be a really good play. Now, this game isn't 197.5 point total because both these teams are so defensively sound and they play such great defense. No, it's because they both are bad shooting teams. They miss a lot of shots. They make a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers. So this is going to be the defenses of the teams are really going to help with the fantasy scoring. So just because the point total was 197.5 does not mean that the actual fantasy point totals are going to be very low. That's why we can see in this game, we can look and see Whiteside go out and have a big double-double, 20 points, 20 boards. It can happen. It can definitely happen. We can see the same thing on the Orlando side of the ball when we talk about Nick Vucevic off the bench playing up against the Miami second team. So I do like Goran Dragic, even though the DVP says he's not a good play. I like Goran Dragic tomorrow against Orlando. I also like Whiteside, as we talked about. On the Orlando side, they've been getting blown out lately, and I don't know how much I want to invest in a roster where they're consistently getting blown out. So I don't think I'm going to be going too many spots on the Orlando side. If I had to go somewhere, it would be I don't like him. No, I don't like nobody on Orlando. Skip him. Next game we're going to talk about is the New York Knicks at the crib in a 210.5 point total. I don't know how we are giving up 5.5 points to the Indiana Pacers, but we are. And instantly in this game, I like Porzingis. I think Porzingis is going to be a nice play going up against Thad Young. To me, this is a stackable game. But the key to this being a stackable game is if Derrick Rose doesn't play. If Derrick Rose doesn't play, I think we see a nice game from Carmelo and from Porzingis. What Derrick Rose does when he has the ball in his hand is not pass to other people. And he's extremely high usage. He is extremely high maintenance point guard, and that is an oxymoron. You cannot be a high maintenance point guard. Your job is to facilitate, to pass the ball, put other teammates in position to score, and he does not do that when he is on the floor. But Brandon Jennings does try to do that. So if we don't see Derrick Rose tomorrow, that kind of makes me like Porzingis as well as Melo a little bit more. On the Indiana side, no matter who is starting, I like Jeff Teague in this game. He's really proven himself, man, as a top flight, mid-level elite point guard in this league, man. He's playing very well lately, and I want to ride his hot streak while it's still going. So I do like Jeff Teague tomorrow. As far as on the small forward now, Paul George is due for a monster. He is. And who better to do that against than Carmelo Anthony, the Olay defense, the guy who's just going to let you score. As long as he's scoring 2, he doesn't really care. So I do like Paul George tomorrow. I think Miles Turner is going to be in play. And Thad Young is somebody who can go out and get and grab some boards and maybe score some points under the basket. But I think there's other spots I can go for a little bit cheaper or maybe a little bit more where I'll get more bang from a buck. The next game we're going to talk about is I think it's the largest point total on the slate. It is the Toronto Raptors at home against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, really, no, we're not going to see Brook Lopez in this game, and this is a 223.5 point total. Now, the Toronto Raptors are giving up 15.5 points. So, who's going to do the blowing out? That's why I like Kyle Lowry in this game, because if they are going to blow out this team up by this much, that means Kyle Lowry has really had a good game. And in blowouts, he stays on the floor. For some reason, he stays on the floor in blowouts. He is the league leader right now in minutes. So I do like Kyle Lowry tomorrow in this game. I think DeMar DeRozan deserves some consideration. Also, Jonas Valanciunas, even though he's not going to get a lot of minutes because, especially in the blowout, they're going to sit him and play a lot of Lucas Nogueira. But I think he can have a good game, maybe a nice double-double at that right around 5.3K or something like that. I think he can have a nice double-double, which would definitely be that 6 times that you need from him. On the Brooklyn side, this team could surprise us because we've got Jeremy Lin playing. We've got Scola starting at center. We've got Sean Kilpatrick. This team kind of could surprise us, and we could see a closer game. I wish this game was in Brooklyn. But the fact that it's in Toronto at Air Canada Center kind of says, man, I trust that this game may blow out. So if I'm going to get any exposure here, it's going to be a cheap punt play from the Brooklyn side and Louis Scola. And on the Toronto side, it's going to be Kyle Lowry and some Jonas Valanciunas. The next game we're going to talk about is a 214.5 point total with a -1 point differential. That is the Houston Rockets being the home favorite, giving up 1 point to the San Antonio Spurs. And for that reason, I like James Harden in this game. Of the three 11K guys, he's the only one who I think I would roster with the confidence that it takes to like put the lineup in and know that I feel like I'm in a good spot. I do like Nene for the cheap at 3K. He's a minimum salary guy going up against Paul Gasol, who is not a great defender. So I think he's going to get some rebounds, maybe some putbacks, and score around the basket. On the San Antonio side, I think Kawhi Leonard is going to be a good play finally because Houston is going to score and they're going to keep the pace. They're going to push the pace and tempo is going to be fast. And like I always say, the pace of the game is oftentimes dictated by the best player on the floor, and James Harden is going to push the pace tomorrow. So I think we're going to see a nice game, finally, a really nice game from Kawhi Leonard. I like him tomorrow. I also like off of the bench. I like Manu Ginobili for some reason. His name is just ringing to me. I think he's going to be a really good play tomorrow. The next game I'm going to get into, this is actually the lowest point total on the slate. It's the Boston Celtics going to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies at the Grindhouse. Now this is a 193-point total with the Boston Celtics giving up 2 to the Memphis Grizzlies. We like to attack Boston. That's law. That's law. In the sweatshop, there's some things that's law. We got a few of them coming together. We got Kemba at home. That's law to me. I know some of y'all off Kemba at home, but that's law to me. We got attack Boston rebounding. That's law. Another one was start Joel Embiid. Just start Embiid. So I'm going to do it some places, but I'm not going to have him everywhere. That's law. So Memphis Grizzlies, I like to attack them. I like to attack Boston rebounding, so that definitely puts JaMychal Green in play for me as a cheaper option. But if I wanted to pay up, which I kind of do in some spots, I'm going to have Marc Gasol in a few lineups. I also like the intriguing play to me is Mike Conley because a lot of people are going to be off him just because of what's been going on with his injuries. And then when he did come back, he didn't have a great game. But I kind of like Mike Conley tomorrow. I just like him. I think he's going to be a good play. On the Boston side, I would look to Avery Bradley before I look to Isaiah Thomas. And Al Horford, while he may be in play, I just don't see him having, a monster game. And I want to roster guys that have 40, 50-point upside nightly. I don't think that's going to be it in this low point total. The next game is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers traveling to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. This is a 211.5 point total. That's pretty juicy. And Cleveland is only giving up 3.5 points. Now, this is without Kevin Love. So we see that automatic bump in usage from LeBron as well as Kyrie. So I do like them tomorrow. We also see the narrative I spoke about earlier, where I'm talking about Giannis gave it to LeBron last time they played. Man, he gave it to him, bro. It was a masterful game he played, and LeBron remembers that, and he's gonna go at him. And I think LeBron's gonna have probably one of his best games of the year against the Greek Freak. So I definitely love LeBron tomorrow. It kind of sets up nicely for us because Love is out. So I don't know if Love was in if I would feel the exact same way, but because Love is out, and I know I'm going to see that big bump in usage from LeBron, he's going to need to be on the floor longer to actually put this team away. I love LeBron tomorrow. And also it makes me like Kyrie a little bit too. On the Milwaukee side, the only player that I really like in this game is going to be Jabari Parker. No Kevin Love. He's going to see some older, slower guy like Channing Frye. And he'll do the motherfucker with Shannon Fry. So I do like Jabari Parker. I do want to get that exposure to this game. It's a 211-point total, but I don't want to roster Giannis tomorrow. I just don't. I don't think he's going to get off on LeBron the way he did last time. The next game I'm going to talk about is a complete fade for me. It's a 210-point total with the Golden State Warriors giving up 11 to the Utah Jazz. I just don't like this game. Just something about this game I just don't like. It's a 10:30 game. You got your late night hammers involved. I just don't like this game. The only person that I would even think about rostering are from Utah side, and that was Derek Favors at that 4.3 price point, and Gordon Hayward. If I research and look at the game a little bit more and think that it may be closer than the 11-point spread. I don't like anybody else from this game. On the next game, there's going to be a lot of juiciness in the next game. It's a 214-point total with the LA Clippers giving up 9 points to the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are on the second leg of a back-to-back. We've got the home favorite in the Clippers, and we've got no Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin has gotten out of our ways so that we can safely and blissfully roster Chris Paul, with DeAndre Jordan, and I spoke about this earlier. DeAndre Jordan is the most low maintenance player in the league. Of all the good players, he's the most low maintenance. This dude does not call for the ball. He just always is ready when the ball is coming his way. Chris Paul is probably the most unselfish player in the league, and that makes for a match in fantasy heaven. I'm telling you, get these two guys in your lineup somewhere tomorrow. I love Chris Paul when I'm pairing him with DeAndre Jordan and no Blake Griffin. So those are the plays that I would like from the LA Clippers side. I don't know what I'm going to do on the Denver side. I kind of like Jokic again, but I think that the Denver perimeter is pretty much done for me tonight. I don't want Moutier. I don't want Barton. I don't even want Gary Harris in this game. If I had to go anywhere with here, I would go with the big. I would just go either for Reed to bounce back, or just go ahead and spin up for Jokic. But I do love DeAndre Jordan and Chris Paul. The last game on the slate, and this is where the true hammer is going to come in at, because we're going to see Dame, we're going to see Boogie, we're going to see McCollum. It's going to be a pretty good game right here too. There's no point total released on it right now because, of course, we're waiting on the news from Rudy Gay to see if he's going to be good to go tomorrow. I don't think he's going to play, but if he does, I won't play him because I hate playing guys in their first game back off an injury. That's just something that I don't do too much. But on the Portland side, fire up Dame. And this is going to be a good play. It's going to be a good play from Dame. CJ McCollum has also been played, but he hasn't been playing extremely well lately. So I don't know how much I want to invest in this game. Maybe I just take Dame and that's it. Maybe I go Dame and I grab a guy off of the Portland second team to actually play that role for me, because I do like Evan Turner a lot in this game. He's one of my favorite my favorite plays on the 5K. He'd definitely be one of them. That'd be Evan Turner. Maurice Harkless is definitely in play in this game too, especially if we don't see Rudy Gay. He's going to be able to really get out in transition and play some good ball on the wing. Boogie is Boogie. Boogie is Boogie. And he's going to be the main focal point on this team. If this game does not blow out, it will be because Boogie stood his ground and had a really good game at home. Darren Collison, he's been in a slump lately. He likes to hit the chicks, but he doesn't like to hit jump shots. We talked about that before. But he's been slumping lately, and maybe this is a game that he can bounce back out, because the Portland Trailblazer perimeter defense is not very good. So if there's anybody that he can play well against, very familiar team, he's been playing against these guys for the last season or two, I think he's definitely in play at that price point he's at. And you need to look at the Garrett Temple to be a cheap salary saving option. Also Costa Kufis if we don't see Rudy Gay, as well as Omri Caspi, who is questionable. We need to check on that. Now, this has been your DFS Jerusalem. Thank you so much for all the support you've been giving me. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. If you want to be a full-fledged member of the DFS Sweatshop, you can go over to the DFSSweatshop.com website and register there. Upon receiving your paid subscription, you will be getting our daily cheat sheets, my Core 4 plays, my Core 4 roster building strategy laid out in detail for you. You'll be getting our daily newsletter. And of course, if you sign up for our year-long membership, you will be admitted. I will release the red velvet rope, and I will allow you into DFS heaven. It is called the DFS Sweatshop VIP Forum, where we discuss all things fantasy. We got guys in there talking NHL, hockey, golf. It all goes down in the VIP, and what happens in the VIP stays in the VIP, and you are more than welcome once you purchase your year-long subscription. If you want to support the show further than that, you can definitely do so. There's a box over here or maybe over there. Click the box, let it take you wherever it does. You can also support my personal PayPal. It is SimmonsMaurice95 at yahoo.com. Thank you all. Y'all have a wonderful and profitable Tuesday. And remember, the number one thing we want to do in the DFS Sweatshop is keep it 300.